Ladies and gentlemen, how do? First video I've ever made. I thought, being a bit of an expert on punk rock, I've been into it since I was 13, 1978, when, like all of you who would be into punk, would be buying all the stuff like Pistols, Clash, Damned, UK Subs, 999, all that stuff. Brilliant stuff. And quick story, don't want to bore you. Loved all that stuff. Of course, was buying all the records when I was a kid, getting my mum to buy me stuff, getting my dad to buy me stuff, getting my friends to give me freebies. And I built up a little bit of a collection of records. I'm only interested in vinyl, really. I've got CDs, obviously, but I ended up getting a job as a postman. And long story short, got into a lot of debt, needed to pay off credit cards, so I decided to sell all my records. This was back in late 90s. And I had some really rare stuff. It wasn't rare when I bought it, but it became rare. Stuff like the first rudimentary P&I EP, which I think you'd have to spend 200 or 300 quid on now to get that with the booklet and in mint condition. I got rid of hundreds and hundreds of punk records, and I was a bit of I wasn't unhappy, but I was at a bit of a low end financially. So what did I do? Well, I got a bloody grit, and although I believe in anarchism and anarcho-punk and always have done, I live in a capitalist society, got to get a crack on. So I quit Raw Mail, started running my own business, and as I made more money and got a bit more comfortable, decided to buy all my records back. It's probably cost me 6-7 times as much as I actually got for them back in the day. Because when I sold that rudimentary P&I EP on eBay in about 1998, I think I got about 15 quid for it. I haven't managed to get that one back yet, because it is a bit expensive, although I did pay 300 quid to get my Crass album back, first pressing a feeding of 5,000, in the cardboard sleeve rather than that wraparound poster thing. So I've got that, and it is in mint condition, and so it's nice to get the old ones back, but I can't afford to keep paying 300 quid for all of them. And of course, some of them I'm not going to buy back because I never liked them that much in the first place. Trying to get back all my stuff like Killing Joke, Subhumans, all my Clash singles, all my 999 stuff. And to be fair, I have got a lot of it back now. And I just thought I'd use my channel to sort of review punk records over the years, punk records that I like, not just punk, all the stuff that I like that comes to me within the punk framework, punk influenced, around about the same time, all the post-punk stuff, bands like Three Johns, Gang of Four, those kind of bands, and even the gothy stuff like Sisters of Mercy, like March Violets, Red Lorry, Yellow Lorry, all that stuff. I loved all that stuff. But there are new things coming along. Some of it's from the old bands, some of it's from new bands. My current favourite punk band from this era, this time, are Made of Ace. So if you haven't heard Made of Ace, they're an all-girl band from Hastings in the UK. They're absolutely fucking ace. Saw them live at Rebellion this year. Got to get my photo taken with them. Bit of a fanboy there. And they are just such a great band. And little story, I sent off to their website to buy the vinyl of just one of their albums, and it arrived, and it was the wrong one. They'd sent me a different one, and I liked that anyway, so I said, well, I'll pay you for that one, but can you send me the right one? And they did. They refused payment for the first one, let me keep it, and they sent me the other one. Now, you don't get many bands doing that, to be honest. They're genuine girls. They play really aggressive, noisy but melodic punk music. You got to check them out. They're fucking brilliant. But a lot of my favourite old bands are still coming back, and this is one of them, 999. This is a re-release of Homicide. On that side there it is. And on the B-side is My Dad Trashed My Submarine, which is off their latest album, which I think was last year sometime. Nice red vinyl. Still a good version of Homicide, but not as good as the original. But that's definitely worth having. Not too expensive. And it's pretty much, you know, two of the main, you know, the original members, Nick Cash and Guy Days, with Arturo Basic, who I think was in the Lurkers, wasn't he? And Stu Meadows on drums. Pablo Labritan, the original drummer, I think he's still a member of the band. He just never plays with them, which is a bit weird. This is my favourite all-time 999 record. Feeling All Right with the Crew. When I first heard this, I could not believe it. I knew they were a punk band, but I expected them to sound like the Clash or the Pistols, and they didn't. Definitely punk. Really high-pitched voice, great tune, my favourite 999 song, and B-side is also brilliant. Titanic, My Overreaction, and the lesser-known track You Can't Buy Me. This is just a fantastic record. You've got to get it, and don't bother getting it on CD or any of that crap. CDs are shit, so definitely get that. 999 are brilliant. They're still a good band. They've had a few highs and lows. Everybody hates that 13th Floor Madness album, don't they? But I actually love it. I think it's quirky, original, and fun to listen to, but nobody agrees with me. Also recently got this one back, 999, Little Red Riding Hood, which probably wasn't their punkiest moment, but it had the stencil, if you can see that came with it. Obviously I'm not going to use that. I actually really love this because, like, I was young when this came out, so it reminds me back in those times. And I ain't going to tell you on the B-side is a cracker as well. So that's like in sort of mint condition as well. So I'm getting back the records in better condition than the ones I had, because when I first bought them, I used to throw them all over the floor. The covers were one side of the room, the record was the other. So really good. But I definitely get into 999, Made of Ace. The last one I'm going to showcase today, which I got back recently, is this actually is my original copy. I've got two versions of this. I couldn't find the new one, but the new one I've got is in like mint condition, so it's great. It's a song, it's a record I always loved. Bought it back in the day when it came out. It's 6 Minute War. And I think this was self-released, so it had blank labels on it, but I sort of put a crass label on in the middle for some fucking reason when I was a kid. This is, the cover's knackered. It's all coming apart. Still plays nicely, but I've actually got a mint copy of it now as well. But that is a great song, 6 Minute War. They were a good band. It slightly put me off from when I bought one of their other EPs, and there was a song on it that went, anarchy, anarchy, anarchy's a farce. You don't pay for anarchy, it's the working class. And I thought, I thought this was an anarcho-punk band, but they're not. But they're definitely of that ilk. But they obviously didn't believe in anarchy, but they were very, very left-wing, as I am. Well, I'm lefter than left-wing. But also I've got, which I couldn't find at the moment, but I'll showcase it at another point because it's fucking brilliant. It's a band called Fallout, which was something to do with 6 Minute War. And they did a song called Salami Tactics. I think the song was called, I don't know whether the EP was called Salami Tactics or the song, but that is in a green cover. It's fabulous. It's better than 6 Minute War. Really worth checking out. So anyway, what I'm going to do on this channel, hopefully, is I can't play the records because YouTube would stop them for copyright and all that bollocks. But I can give you links to stuff that maybe you haven't heard, or maybe things you missed when you were younger. And I'd like to hear what records you've got that I haven't heard or haven't got, because I'm still discovering stuff from back when I was 17 that I didn't know about. So it'd be interesting to see what other people have got. But I shall be doing my band of the week and featuring the records they've done, the gigs I've been to of them, what they were like live. Doing my favourite punk records of all time. I can tell you now, my #1 album of all time ever is and always has been London Calling by The Clash. A lot of people would say, well, it's not punk. But I remember going past School's record shop in Wolverhampton, and they had, when it came out, I think it was December 79, I remember going past the record shop and it was absolutely rammed in the window with promotion for London Calling and The Clash. And everybody who was going in that shop to buy it, they'd got green hair, bondage trousers, bum flaps, studded jackets. So I'm not accepting that it wasn't punk. It certainly appealed to punk. The Clash are a punk band. They just had a hell of a lot of influences that came out in their later records, which I like. All 5 Clash albums, I'm not counting Cut the Crap, but all the other 5 albums are brilliant. But I will be doing my top all-time best 5, my all-time worst ever punk records I've ever bought, and such, and hopefully people find it interesting and amusing. It's just my opinions on what's punk and what isn't punk. I ain't the punk police, don't care about punk police, don't care what you think punk is. My opinion is what I think punk is, and I'm quite happy with people thinking it's something else. But for me, I'll tell you what, it definitely isn't Green Day and all that shitty American pop punk. Got nothing against American bands. Dead Kennedys were absolutely fantastic, but Green Day, no, they've all got massive houses, big cars. They ain't punk, mate. But anyway, stay tuned, because I shall be introducing my mate Punky Pig. He gives opinions on my opinions, and he will be making an appearance and telling you what he thinks of my opinions on punk. So hopefully, if you want to know about punk bands from my perspective, the bands I've seen and the bands that were around at that time, such as The Jam, who to me were always part of it, even though they were a mod band really, but with that punky edge. So all the live stuff I've been to, all the records I've bought, all the anecdotes I've got from the punk days. I was quite involved in the punk scene in Wolverhampton in 1983, 84, something like that, and it was all great. There's some great stories from those days. And of course, my favourite punk rock really was anarcho-punk, Crass, Flux, etc. But anyway, this is my first video, so if you like it, give it a like, give it a subscription. No, I've only got one video at the moment, but hopefully I'm going to post 2 or 3 a week, and maybe somebody out there will find it interesting anyway. So anyway, have a great time, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, and keep it punk.